Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to this episode of If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you clicking on that thumbnail and checking out my channel. Whether you're joining me morning, noon, or night, thank you. I appreciate it. So what are we going to be doing on this episode? Well, it's not going to be lawn care, and I know that's the premise and the probably the mainstay of this channel. But as you can see behind me, it's wintertime. We're doing pre-spring work right now, and we had a light day today. So we got back to the shop, and I decided to spend a few minutes with you guys telling you something that over the period of years I have found that works best for me. It may not work best for you, but it works best for me. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about shoes. There's all different brands out there. Some, they range anywhere from $50 to $800. Now, I am hell on shoes. I don't normally use language on my channel, but I am absolute Hades hell, however you want to say it, on shoes. My wife Flossie would be the first one to tell you. I have used as low down as Rose's Walmart shoes. As a matter of fact, I've got a pair of Walmart shoes here to show you. I've used Red Wing. I've used Thorogood. I've used, what was that other brand that I did not like? Oh, Georgia Boots. I've got a pair of those here to show you too. They're not boots, they're Oxford style work shoes. I've tried them all. I've tried Carolina. I've tried Caterpillar. I've tried probably 20 different brands of shoes. And I've tried Wolverines. And Wolverines have turned out to be my very favorite shoe. Now, how did I learn about Wolverine? Well, I had a relative come over here one day and I liked his shoes. And I said, "What kind of shoes are those?" He said, "They're Wolverines." I have tried any and every shoe that I can think of right at the moment. And they're either uncomfortable, they don't last. Timberland Pros was the big one. I'll tell you about that. I don't have any Timberland Pros to show you, but I'll tell you the story about that. But I tried the boots, and I've tried the Timberland Pro Titan Oxford work shoe. And I'll go ahead and tell you, the problem I had with those, I don't know if they're made for bigger feet or they're made for, whatever, I don't know. But where your normal work shoe it goes, and I'm gonna pull my foot up here, so it goes just under the ankle bone right here. Well, those shoes, they come way up here, and they're not a work boot, they're a shoe. Well, Skechers was another one. I tried the Skechers Marina, or however you pronounce that. I bought them off of Amazon. They were really, really, really comfortable, but they were flat. They had no arch support whatsoever. Well, that's a big problem. If you've got a natural arch, you wouldn't have a problem with those shoes. I have a almost flat foot, so I have to have arch support in my shoes. 9 times out of 10, I buy a pair of arch support insoles, and that's what I go with. But anyway, what about Wolverine do I like? Well, the main thing is the comfort. They are super, super comfortable. I wear my shoes, I put my shoes on probably anywhere from 7 to 9 o'clock in the morning, and I don't take my shoes off in the late evening until I get ready to bathe. And that's normally around 9 or 10 o'clock. And that's when I take my shoes off. Now, I've got some examples here to show you, but I'm gonna go through them and tell you what I like, what I have found about each shoe and why I chose Wolverine. So let me start off. I'm gonna start off with the Georgia boot, the Georgia shoes. I don't even know the name of these shoes. I've had them. I bought these. I think I bought them in April of last year, so these shoes aren't even a year old. I wore them literally one season, and if you'll look, the heel is beginning to come off of the shoe itself. And now I will say this, I supinate, which means I don't pronate, which is your feet going in like this, or straight. I supinate, which means I walk on the outsides of my feet. I hate it. There's nothing I can do to correct it. I've tried putting the insoles in that do this, and it hurts my knees. I can't do it. So I just have to learn to live with it. I'm gonna look, these shoes, when I bought them, these are Georgia Boots shoes. They're, matter of fact, there's the name right there on the bottom of the shoe. And I'm trying to see if I can find the actual name of the shoe, and I can't. But if you look, there's no cushioning in the bottom of that shoe whatsoever. None. So you have to put your own insole in here, because the insole that come in these was literally a piece of fabricated paper. And it's what it's supposed to do is, as your foot heats up, it's supposed to mold into your foot. No, it didn't. By about the 4th day, my feet and ankles are hurting so bad because of the insole in these shoes. I had to take them out and go buy another insole for these shoes. I've got probably 12 or 15 insoles that I use from time to time on each one, and none of them work for this. I had to go buy a specialty pair. Well, these shoes, as you can see right here, I could probably condition them and bring this shoe back out, the leather back out, but what's the use? I mean, look at this. And it's wore through right there. Let me see if I can get close enough to the camera. It's wore through right there. There's a hole right there. And there's another spot it's doing it. Is it on this shoe? I thought the insole was coming loose on this part too, but it's not. The problem with shoes like this, and I'm gonna be going over this too, these are what they call laminated, which means they're glued together. You cannot resole these. Once they're wore out, you just have to throw them away and replace them. Well, how sad is it that you pay $147 plus tax for a pair of shoes, wear them one summer on the ground, and the bottom of the shoe looks like that? It's almost smooth. And the reason why is because, just like with tires, the harder the tire you get, the stiffer the sidewall you get, the longer the tire is going to last. Well, same with these. Now I'm going to show you a pair of shoes in comparison to these in just a second, but these shoes didn't last no time. They are wore out to the point. That's Flossie coming out to hang out some Beanie Babies. Say hey, Flossie. These shoes didn't last no time. Now, I want you to answer a question, Flossie. Right. Am I hell on shoes?
You are hell on shoes.
Doing that.
Pizza.
No. Oh, Lord. Guys, I wish you could taste Flossie's homemade hamburgers. If you put it on top of your head, your tongue would beat your brains out trying to get to them. But anyway, let me show you the difference. These are Wolverines. Now, I still wear these shoes. I ain't gonna tell you how old they are just yet, but I still wear these shoes. And here's I'll pull the insole out of them so you can see them. This is the insole. Now it's thin because I've been wearing them, but they do have a little bit of an arch right here. Not much. And in full disclosure, I have to put my own orthotic insole in it to give me the arch support I need, because like I said, I have what they call a falling arch. When I step, my foot doesn't stay like this. My foot kind of flattens out like that. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just, I'm getting older and I need some help. But anyway, I want you to look at the bottom of this shoe. It's wore out right there because of the way I step. But you look at in comparison to this. Yeah, in comparison to this, I want you to look at the difference. This shoe versus this shoe. You look at this right here and look at the center right there where I walk. This shoe was bought April of 2023. This shoe, as God is my witness, is 5 years old. And it's not a Goodyear welt, but it's a Goodyear welt, I guess you'd call it like in other words, they could take this stitching right here out and they could put a new sole on the bottom of this shoe. This shoe was $147. This shoe was $95. So that tells you, that's just one example. Now, let's move on to something else, because I don't want this video to drag out. These are Brahma Boots. These are your standard, everyday Walmart boot. These boots here are probably 3 years old. And again, in full disclosure, this is the first pair of work boots I bought for Nate. And they're a size 9. I bought them for him for Christmas. He was 17 years old. No, he was 16 years old. So they're 3 years old. That's why they look so good. The reason why is because he outgrew them by March of that year, of the following year, which was, so he's 19 now, so 19, 18, 17, so that would be in 2019. And they're just not quite 4 years old, but they look so good because he outgrew them. His foot outgrew these shoes in a matter of months, and he couldn't wear them anymore. His toes, matter of fact, his mom going into the house right now, his mom discovered his toes were crinkled up in the ends of them like that, and he didn't tell anybody. And was like, son, you got to tell us when your shoes don't fit anymore. Well, now, God help me, that boy's in a 12 wide, and I wear a 9. But anyway, about these boots, they have a little bit of arch support on the bottom, not much. I wear these boots myself. They're size 9. I wear these boots when it's extremely cold outside, or if I'm pressure washing, because they're waterproof. Anyway, these boots are a size 9. They are a full grain leather upper, and I'm trying to see if I can make out what the sole is polyurethane. Now, I will say this, that right there, that's some hard material. That is some hard material. The only problem I have with these boots is they're not the most comfortable boot I've ever worn. And when you wear them for 5 or 6 hours, if you're like me, you're a little older, my legs and my knees and my ankles and my feet start to hurt. No matter how much insole you have in these, your feet hurt. You know, when you're on a schedule like I am in the wintertime and the summertime and all that, you don't want your feet to be hurting. But anyway, that's enough of that one. Now, I'm gonna pull out a pair of boots here y'all ain't gonna believe. I ain't gonna tell you what brand they are. And I'm gonna try to hide it where you can't see what brand they are. You look at the upper of that shoe, it hasn't been conditioned in a while, and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't worn it in a while. But I do still on occasion wear these shoes. These boots, they have a fantastic arch support. I'm rubbing it and it goes like this and goes up like that, and it's got a wonderful arch support. Now, you can see the bottom is starting to wear. And especially, like I said, right there, I tend to supinate, walk on the back corner of my heel. But the rest of the sole is in extremely good condition. Guys, these boots are 8 years old. 8 years old. 8 years old. I bought them in 2016. These are 8 years old. As a matter of fact, I bought them in December. I bought them right after Christmas of 2015. So now I will say this, the sole is starting to come apart a little bit right there, but they're still wearable. The leather is in phenomenal condition. Now, full disclosure again, I do wash them with saddle soap, and then I apply mink oil to them, because unfortunately these are not waterproof. Now, what brand are they? Well, let me show you. I'm not going to tell you, I'm going to show you. You can see for yourself. Can you see that? They're Wolverines. Now you're beginning. Now what I'm trying to do, guys, I'm trying to paint a picture. 8 years old. Now, what am I wearing right now? What shoe am I wearing right now? Well, let me pull them up here and let you see them. Again, Wolverines. Now, how old are these? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to take you through and let you see them. They need to be cleaned. They need to be conditioned. I took these off right before I started this video because I wanted to show them to you. Now, I'm going to show you the orthotic. I bought this orthotic off of Amazon. It was probably 20 bucks, something like that. And if I can find the link to this orthotic, I will leave it in the description box below. But you see it's got that ridge right there, that's your arch support, and it's firm, it doesn't give. Let me put it in front of the camera. It's firm, it doesn't give. And the actual insole that come with these boots are still in them. But I keep these in them to give me the arch support. And I can walk, and you can ask Flossie if you want to. If she was out here, I'd tell you. She would tell you. I put these shoes on first thing in the morning in the wintertime, because I don't wear boots in the summertime. It's too dang hot and humid around here. But I put these boots on as soon as my feet hit the floor, after I get dressed. And they do not come off my feet until right when I get ready to clean up, which is usually around 9 to 10 o'clock at night. Unless we've got somewhere to go and I need to shower before we go. Then they come off my feet then, of course. But these are waterproof. And these are, well, I'll let you see the wear on them first. You see the wear on the bottom of that? And these have a Goodyear, a full Goodyear welt. They can be resold. I have not had the opportunity to find out what that would cost. But you can find these on Amazon. These are the Wolverine Floorhand Boots. They're not steel-toed either. I can't stand steel-toed shoes. You will never find a pair of steel-toed shoes or boots on my feet because they blister my toes. I just can't. I don't like them. As you can see, they do lean toward the left a little bit. Like I said, I tend to walk on the outer corner and the outside of my feet. I hate it, but that's just a fact of life. Guys, you see how good a shape these shoes are still in. I wear them every day. These boots are 6 years old. 6 years old. And I'm still wearing them. Now, are they comfortable? Absolutely. The only reason I have the insole in them is not for comfort. It's to support my arch. That's the only reason. But I can wear these shoes literally 15 hours a day and they don't bother my feet at all. Now, do my feet get hot in them? Yeah, because boots are hot. But other than that, fantastic. Now, I'm gonna pull an old pair of Wolverines out. I've already showed you these. I pulled them out for a reason. I wear Oxford style work shoes. I mean, these shoes, if you can see the collar right there, they've been beat to death. I still wear them. Mainly what I do with these, I wear them around the house. I wear them when I'm working in my yard, stuff like that. When I'm at the shop, I wear these around when I'm not doing anything real strenuous. These, guys, the soles hardly have any wear on them at all. Hardly any wear on them. And other than that right there. And these are these have the DuraShock pads. Now, I'm just gonna be honest, and I'll pull my glasses off even though it's bright as crap out here. I don't really see a difference between these and these whatsoever. I really don't. Now, to give you a prime, I got to put my glasses on. It's too bright out here. To give you an example of what I'm talking about, I walk on the edges of my feet. If you look right here, you'll see that is fully intact. Now look at this side. You see it's got the holes wore in it right there? That's what I'm talking about. I tend to walk, tend to what they call supinate. I walk on the outer edges of my feet. I've had my feet checked. My feet are fine. They said it, and my mama and my daddy both did it. So it's a family trait, and there's not really anything I can do about it. But see, if you look at the shoe, it sits straight. So it's only when my feet are in them and I'm walking do they tend to lean outward like that. But that's not the shoe's fault, that's my fault. Now, let me show you what I'm gonna be wearing in come spring and summer when it starts to heat up. This is what these look like brand new. And as you can tell, I've wore them around the house and stuff, but the bottom of the shoe, the bottom of the sole is brand new. It's got a little scuff on it right there. Now, I'll be honest with you, there is a break-in period with these shoes. They're very stiff. The leather is not, but the sole is very stiff. There is a fiberglass shank in these, but it's this thick and it's hard. It's not your flexible type fiberglass. It's very rigid. But the arch support is very noticeable in these, but I do keep the insole, and I take my orthotic out and put it in whatever pair of shoes I'm going to be wearing. And like I said, that's not the shoe's fault. I wish Wolverine and other shoe brands, I mean, you go on YouTube. You're on YouTube now. Go on YouTube and search Nick's boots. They're handmade boots. They're anywhere from $700 to like $1,000. I'm sorry, I'm not willing to pay that much money for shoes. I'm just not. I mean, I don't care if they last for 50 years. I'm not paying that kind of money for shoes. I'm just not. Not when I can get this that lasts as long as these do, or as long as these, 8 years. These are 5 years old. Why do I want to pay $800 for a pair of shoes when I can pay like 95 to 100? And I think these are, you know what? I'm not going to say what I'll put on the video. I'll look up how much they cost, and I'll put on the screen right here how much they cost. But anyway, these are the Wolverine Raider Oxford work boot or work shoe. And when I finally have to replace these floor hands, I haven't decided yet how much I'm gonna pay, if I'm gonna pay the extra money to get these, or if I'm gonna replace these, or I'm gonna pay the extra money and get these, because the floor hands are like 110 and the Raider work boot is like 140. But look at this. This shoe is 5 years old and it's still in good wearing condition. Now, I did want to point something out. The difference that I've seen in these shoes. This is the Georgia work shoe. They are waterproof, by the way. But I want you to look at how, when you're walking, how that flattens out, and if you rub it up against anything, that leather right there is already so thin. I mean, you can see my finger poking through it. These don't do that. That's another thing I like about Wolverines. And there's a reason they named them Wolverine to begin with. If you know anything about the little animal called a Wolverine, they are some of the toughest animals on the planet, and it stands to reason. So which shoe do I think is best? Well, I'm speaking from 24 years of experience in the lawn care industry. I've wore everything from Reebok to Wolverine and everything in between. I've worn Timberland Pro, I've worn Brahma, I've worn Georgia, I've worn Caterpillar, I've worn Carolina, I've worn just about any and everything you could think of I've had on my feet. And guys, in all honesty, I have driven my wife absolutely freaking nuts trying to find the best, most comfortable shoe that is comfortable and lasts a long time. Well, I think I have found them. Well, I know I have found them. If you don't know anything about Wolverine, check them out, guys. They're not expensive shoes. They're like I said, they're a middle of the road work boot, work shoe, but they've been around for a long time, and there's a reason why. They make a great product. But anyway, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. I try to bring you content that may be something you don't know, or from a different perspective that you hadn't looked at before. And I hope I've done that. Be sure and click that like button, guys. Clicking that like button and the subscribe button, it gets me more recognition, not from the audience, but from YouTube itself. And it pushes my videos further up in the algorithm, and more people are exposed to my content. So please do that. Also, I don't mention this very often. I do have merchandise. I have hats and I have shirts. And I will leave a link in the description box below where you can go check that out. And if you'd like to get something, be my guest. I would appreciate it greatly. Also, one last bookkeeping note. My analytics tell me, and I'll put the graph right here, that only 20% of you that are watching this channel are subscribed. Guys, come on, subscribe to the channel. I would so appreciate it. I would love to have you be a part of the Big South family. But anyway, that's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. This is Brian with Big South Outdoors TV, reminding you to live big, live southern, and no matter how cold it is, live outdoors. Until we meet again, folks, have a good one.